Good morning and welcome back to the Daily Grind. I'm your host Chump Change. This is live and recorded, and for anybody that's new here, what we do typically is go over crypto news that's like relevant to the space, you know, Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins, anything that we can find. And then yeah, I do it with all you guys. I do this by myself anyway. So welcome if you're new. Let's see, Carl Coate, see who's in the chat, and then we'll go from there. Dakota Miner, Ursa, good to see you. We have, let's see, Mr. Nerd Beats, Andrew Masad, Steven Cicero, good morning. All set. Sorry, I was running a little bit behind, so as you guys can tell, I'm a little off kilter right now, and hopefully the stream doesn't crash, so let me know if it does in the chat. Crypto Escort, good morning. Let's see who else is here. Miss Pocket Change, all set. Steven Cicero, 619, DJ Mines, and DJ Death Star, appreciate you guys, thanks for coming here. We have let's see, Mr. Mustard Mountain Mining. That is a tongue twister if I've ever seen one myself. All right, let's get into this. Trade like snipe, good morning. All right, let's see what Bitcoin's looking like. Bitcoin 41,216. We have Ethereum 2251. Dogecoin just under 8 cents. Some things are in the green, some things are in the red, but it's really not bad. Everything's kind of just floating sideways. Litecoin looks like 66 bucks, almost 67 bucks. Again, I think severely undervalued, at least in my opinion. Let's see, anything else really sticking out at us? Kaspa is 10.5 cents, just about 10.4. Let's see, XRP 52 cents, Solana 91 bucks, BNB 301. Not too bad. Good morning, Mr. Jim C. Just got back from vacation. That's awesome, man. Hopefully you had a good time. Where'd you go? Let us know in the chat. All right, let's check our crypto bubbles over here. Hopefully I didn't. All right, looks good. I'm like having PTSD because their stream crashed yesterday, and I'm hoping it doesn't happen again. But you know what's weird, actually? I want to ask you guys if anybody knows anything about PCs, right? I was talking to Crypto KJ, and he's thinking it might be my display cable going up to this monitor. When my Streamlabs crashes, rather, I could just grab it and put it to another screen, and it comes right back. So if it happens today, I'm going to try it and see if that works. If you guys know, let me know in the chat. All right, let's see. Over here, again, top 100 coins. We have Sats up 20.5%. Look at that. Not too bad. I don't know... what is it? 4 zeros behind the penny, 5 zeros basically over to the 4. Let's see, we have CFX up 16%. We have AKT. What is this? A cash network. It's up 7 ranks, just jumped into the top 100. I don't know what this is. Anybody know what this is? Let me know. Are your drivers up to date? Jim C, yes they are. I actually updated them yesterday, and the thing just froze before I started. That's why I'm like keep checking just to make sure we're still good. We have Bonk up 11.3% today. It's actually ranking 100, so it could fall out or push a little higher. Let's see. Chili's 62 up 9.5%. Honestly, everything looks pretty normal. Optimism 27, ranking 27 rather. It's at $3.11, up 12%. Everything looks pretty good. On the week, the biggest earners of the week, let's see, just because it is Friday, we have Bit and Soar, Teo right here, 40.6%. That was a pretty decent move, 342 bucks. We have Manta Network up 84 in the ranks, and we have $3.07, up 40.9%. That is the winner of the week. Biggest loser of the week is Pulse Chain. As you can see, it is down to rank 83, down 22.1%, and Hex is down 21.7% at a penny and a half. Let's see. Disclaimer, I take no responsibility for any crash that may or may not happen today. Mr. Crypto KJ, it's all right. I wouldn't blame you anyways, buddy. All right, let's see. Look at this. The needle has moved under the 50 mark. We're in neutral territory, ranking 49 over here on the Fear and Greed Index. Again, I don't really pay much attention to this, but as Mr. Warren Buffett says, when people are greedy, it's time to be fearful. When people are fearful, it's time to be greedy. So if this needle gets down like around the 20s, 25, a little bit below 25, that's when I start really paying attention to it, and above 75-ish typically. So take that with a grain of salt, as you will. All right, top 10 coins over here by coin market cap over on CoinGecko. We have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, Solana, XRP, USDC, Lado Staked Ether, Cardano, and Avalanche. Dogecoin and Avalanche have been doing the dance. They've been flip-flopping back and forth between the 10th and 11th, and looks like Avalanche has a beat by 300 million as of right now. Let's go on to the other coins. Litecoin I like to check out, which is in 21st place again. Let's see, scroll down a little bit. Monero's in 33rd. ETC, I think this is going to be a sleeping giant at some point. This is Let's see, it's in 26th place. It's up 5.5% over the past 24 hours, but it took a little bit of a hit this week, right? Went down like $7. It was up in the 30s, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see, Kaspa again, almost 10.5 cents. It's 10.3 right now. Still ranking 40. It's really not, hasn't moved actually. For a new coin, it's actually doing quite well. All right, let's check out, you know what? I want to check out a few coins and we'll get into the mining stuff. So let's see what Honey's doing. 1974. So it's at 19 cents as of right now. Not too bad. Not too bad. Could be worse. It's had a bit of a pullback along with everything else. Check out the month. As you guys can see, if you guys don't know what Honey is, it's Hivemapper. It's it was at 2 cents in November, and this thing has just been on a rip ever since. It went up to, actually when it was listed on Coinbase, it was up to like 50 something cents for like a quick wick, and then it came right down. But I don't know, I have high hopes for this project over long term. One new coin that I've been looking into is GFAL. I've been telling my VIPs about it. I told them about it last night. This is up 6.1%. This is games for a living. If you guys haven't heard of this, I guess the developers here, the actually, you know what, my man Luke is the one that actually put me on looking at this. So I watched a few videos, and apparently the founder of EA Sports is one of the developers here, and he's like one of the lead guys. So it's like four top-notch guys, I think, or 3 top-notch guys that are like lead developers in this platform. So it's kind of interesting, and it's got a little bit of a dip right now. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get in on it a little bit and see what happens. But it's only at 3 cents. Could be a good buy. Who knows? ETC Pow, how's that doing? I know you guys, everybody's running them nodes, but that's terrible. 17 cents. This thing's taking such a shit. I want to know if this is gonna come back or not, because this has just been on a downward spiral, rolling downhill. Tuck and roll, grandma. this thing's going straight down. What other coins we're looking at? Lithium. Let's look at lithium real quick, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes here. We have $2.14 actually. That's awesome. Lithium's up 17.4%. Hell yeah, good for you guys. If anybody's into that, that's sick. Perfect. Let's see, Mr. Leo Lustig, do you guys use the buzz feature while hive mapping? So the buzz feature, I don't know exactly how much that really I don't know if it affects your driving or whatnot. Let's get on to the mining segment of things. But the buzz feature is basically to like show like if there's a hiccup in the road, or like an accident or something. Like you just hit that button and it like alerts something, I don't know, in their software. But anyways, all right, let's get on to the WinMiner K9. We have the 10.3 terahash unit. Again, for anybody that's new here, what I like to do is see how profitable these miners are per day, just so I can kind of time capsule this and go back like a year from now and be like, damn, remember when this thing made this much money? So we're looking at $74.68 a day. It's kind of rough from where it was a couple months back, but you know what, it's been holding between 70 and 90, I would say, right? So 790 Kaspa per day, which is pretty good, right? Again, Kaspa is down, so once the price Kaspa goes up, price of these miners, you know, profitability goes up, and this is after 10 cents per kilowatt hour. If that's what you're paying. If you're paying more, then obviously you're going to be making less. We have the Ice River KS3 8 terahash unit making $56 a day. The Ice River KS3 M 6 terahash unit making $39.96 a day. We have the iPolo G1. This is the Grin miner. I can't believe this thing's making $20 a day, to be honest. I really can't. How is Grin even doing? What's the price of Grin? Let's look, just because I want to see. Grin. Wow, it's up 9.77%. Actually, I probably took a shit with everything else the other day. Let's just see. Past month, actually, it really didn't. Moved a penny, 2 pennies. Interesting. Anyways, all right, the X16P. This is one of the units I'm testing as of right now. 5.8 gigahashes, roughly around $20 a day, depending on what you're mining. You know, I did a solo mining test on Octaspace. I did a solo mining test on ETC, normal pool mining ETC. So I got to put everything together at some point today so I can record for tomorrow. But the X16P is actually a beast. It really is. For what it is, it's just too expensive, at least in my opinion. I think they charge too much for it. That's just is what it is. Whatever. Ice River KS2 2 terahash unit, $13.16 a day. The Ice River KS1 1 terahash unit, $6.58 a day. Bruh. That's terrible. That's terrible. It's under $7. That is awful. Man, I don't even want to look. I don't want to look. Where is it? Ice River KS0 Pro, which if you have 5 of these, right, 200 gigahash unit, you have 5 of these equals 1 terahash, okay, at 500 watts if you times it by 5, right? The KS1 is 600 watts for the same amount of terahash, same amount of gigahashes, right, or terahash rather, if you had 5 of them, and you'd be profiting more with 5 KS0 Pros. That's why I purchased them. It's $1.35 per day as of right now, so hopefully these things appreciate, because that's terrible. Mr. DJ Death Star in the house with a $5 super chat. Appreciate you. He said, bro, NADX is allowing you to exchange your points for the NADX token. Have about 6 days left. Got to open up the app, claim, hoping to see it listed. Yes, you know what, actually that's a good point. So if anybody is using the NADX app, it's kind of like it's like earn while you drive app, right? Like you put your phone on your dashboard and let it video whatever you're doing, right? They actually have, so what they're doing is like a conversion rate for however many images you get X amount of NADX token, I guess. It just it was like a pre-launch, or it's in pre-launch stages right now. So if you guys are into it, you have 6 days or 5 days left. I made a short of it yesterday, but yeah, the conversion rate is total ass. It looks like I think I had 320,000 NADX like images or whatever, and it went to like 10.9 tokens or whatever. So anyways, drive a lot if you want to earn a lot, because who knows what that thing's gonna be worth. If you guys are interested in ASICS, I have a link to terahashes.com down in the description below. Go check that out. They have the lowest, or some of the lowest prices in the market, which is pretty awesome. Mr. DJ, I appreciate you. Thank you very much for that super chat. All right, let's see GPUs, see what we're looking like here. Actually, we're gonna have a little bit of people talking on the news about GPUs in a few minutes. We have NVIDIA RTX 4090. Looks like Lithium's back on top of the charts. We have the 4080 Hyper and Lithium, 4070 Ti Lithium, straight across the board. 4070 Ti Pyron, Hyper and Lithium. Looks like Chlor for the AMDs with the Lithium. So Lithium's pretty much taking everything as of right now. Conflux, Carlson, few cards. Interesting. So I mean, these coins have pretty much been on the top for the last couple weeks, but yesterday was kind of a mess all over the place. All right, let's get into news, just because I don't have too long today, but we do have some things to go over. So this is Patrick McHenry, the representative, right, on spot Bitcoin ETFs. They talk about it for like 2 minutes or so. I watched this, and then they kind of switch gears, so we're gonna jump off it like halfway through. But guys, hit that like button. Appreciate you for hanging out. I hate asking, but YouTube makes me. Let's do it.
And our next guest was interim speaker following the ousting of former speaker Kevin McCarthy.
Real quick, Jim C, yes, TerraHash is Terra hosting. It's their new ASIC selling website.
And has announced he won't be seeking re-election in 2024. Joining us now, Congressman Patrick McHenry, chairman of the House Financial Services Committee.
RIP to his career in 2024. I mean, he's still got a year left, but that sucks to see him go, because he's definitely a big advocate of crypto.
It's, you know, you got a ways to go, so you're
I got another year.
Yeah, you do, and you still got constituents that you need to look out for their interests. What does that entail in terms of crypto? What does that mean you need to do?
Well, I've got. Look, when the House basically attempted to commit political suicide, Republicans in the House tried to commit political suicide in the fall. It gummed up 3 or 4 months of House floor action. So I've got major policies in capital formation, data privacy, and crypto that we haven't moved across the House floor, and I intend to get those moved across the House floor this year. We can still do big deals. Perfect. We can still do big deals, even amidst the longest presidential campaign, general election campaign in American history. We can still get these things done and build consensus, and I think there's a need for market structure on crypto.
The recent ETF and watching the SEC chair sort of kicking and screaming, really, after the court said one thing, and that's no way to run a railroad, is it? I mean,
no, it's ineptitude, and they went kicking and screaming after the courts demanded they take this action. Now you have more legitimate money coming in, flowing into crypto, some structure being provided to a new asset class that has its problems and needs some clarity under federal law to remedy it. But what you see out of Gensler, he's got 62 rulemakings he intends to do this year. You have this backdrop of regulatory policy for this administration that is problematic for them, and they're having a hard time rebranding what their economic policy is to the point where they're sending administration officials out to try to convince the American people that what they feel, they should not actually feel.
Right.
And that's a tough thing in a political year.
Well, I've watched, we can take this interview wherever you want to go, the Crazy Eight, and I don't know what Speaker Johnson's future looks like. I don't know how we fund Ukraine and the border, and there's all kinds of...
they're going to start switching gears on the border talk. But anyways.
Eat shit, Gary.
That's how he feels. And he's very confident in that bow tie. So, yes, I trust him more as well. All right, let's get into this. Intel isn't going to get a big lift from AI, says Deepwater's Gene Munster. That's a weird last name. That's terrible. Anyways, all right, let's get into this. He talks about GPUs here, so some of you GPU heads will be excited. Let's do it.
Let's get more on Intel. Bring in Fast Money friend Gene Munster. He's a managing partner of Deepwater Asset Management. Gene, what's your take? Are you as dour as some of these guys here on the desk?
Melissa, I was doing multitasking there. I was listening to the call and kind of picking up a little bit of negativity from the desk. So appreciate that recap. The answer is yes, I am. And the call kicked off really talking about Intel being an AI everywhere company, and also talking about this near-term weakness in March was temporary. You saw shares kind of move up a couple percent in after-hours trading when they talked about that, and also talked a lot about new products. And I think that is, the central point to this whole Intel story is, will their new products catch on with potential customers? And when they talk about the AI opportunity and being an AI everywhere company, the opportunity is really the sweet spot of this is in the GPU market. This is the most competitive market. We all know this. And when we think about where this company is going to go down the road, to get to, they're going to grow revenue this year, I call it 15% maybe, to get to a revenue growth rate that is going to be more AI paradigm shifting, like 25, 35% plus, you got to get into that GPU market. And I just have questions about how you're going to compete with essentially, number one is NVIDIA, two is AMD, three is the hyperscalers. They're all making their own chips. And so they're in the fourth position trying to compete in this market. My sense is that this is Intel's growth. It's going to grow at 10 to 15%. We're not going to get the big lift that we're hoping for with AI.
So what should it be valued at if it's just only going to grow 10%? And that's the run rate here.
It's right now it's trading at about 27 times next year's earnings. It's kind of surprisingly a similar multiple that NVIDIA trades at. They're about 30 times because people are looking at NVIDIA, what kind of the out year is going to be a slowdown there.
Real quick, Mr. Dan R., thank you so much for the $10 super chat. He gave me a wrecked sticker. You're awesome. Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you for keeping the stream alive.
When you look at AMD, that trades at 46 times. So if you put all this together, Melissa, I think that this should probably trade right around where it's at and probably grow earnings right around 10%. And when I put all the pieces together, I just think there are better ways to play the AI silicon opportunity.
So, Gene, you just mentioned that Intel, not only do they have to worry about catching up to, let's say, NVIDIA and AMD, but the hyperscalers, which are the big customers, right? So these big cloud players, Microsoft, Google, they've all signaled that they're, as you just said, going to be designing and making their own GPUs. Doesn't that just place these kind of second-tier players that much further behind, which you're suggesting? But doesn't it pose a risk for NVIDIA and AMD as we get further into this year, and as the cost of compute is something that they are really going to have to start thinking about as they're trying to go commercializing a lot of these products? That's the hyperscalers.
When the news starts talking about GPUs, this this market's going to go crazy on the resale when this bull run happens. Just saying.
Yes is the answer. I think that from a competitive standpoint, NVIDIA is they're in a great spot, but they're going to have more of a challenge in the years to come. They've gotten just nothing but good news in the last few weeks, whether it's come from Meta or there's been rumors about how much Apple is spending with NVIDIA. So this is a great time for NVIDIA. But these big tech companies, they don't like spending $5 billion, $10 billion a year with NVIDIA. They want to try to do that in a much more cost-effective way. We're talking about 30% of many of these companies' CapEx is being spent on NVIDIA chips. And so I think that there is an opportunity for these hyperscalers to do better there competitively. We'll see how that plays out. And you do see some of those street estimates going. We're talking about 300% growth for NVIDIA this year, going to high 40s this year, and next year, call it high teens. And so I think that I'm not suggesting that NVIDIA is the best way to play the silicon play. I think there are private ways to do that. Those are opportunities. So yes, I think that the kind of untold story when it comes to silicon is related to what the hyperscalers are doing.
Here's a bit of an Uncle Charlie for you, Gene, but I know you're capable.
That's a curveball. In layman's terms.
And Gene knows that as well.
Thank you.
I did not know that.
Of course you do. Yeah.
You're Googling it now.
I am.
Understanding that Intel might actually be a bit of a homeland security play, given everything that's going on. In this political landscape, potentially what could happen in November, and then new sanctions against China, could there be a re-rating on Intel just on the back of that alone?
Yes, at Deepwater, we owned Intel. We owned it a year plus ago, and we gave up on it when they just kept having these issues. And one of the central reasons why we owned it was for that, is that this kind of domestic theme, I think it is a benefit for companies like Intel. I think it's in the benefit category. Unfortunately, when I put that positive and think about the other competitive dynamics and the product dynamics, and also the fact that they're not only building chips, designing chips, but also building them. The only other company that does that in the world is Samsung, and they don't do a very good job on it. When you put all that together, I think, Guy, that is a positive, but I don't think it changes the calculus on the stock.
You know, that was a good question, Mr. Crypto KJ. I'm not going to put a poll in the chat just because I'm sure, I don't know if everybody here minds, but which algo do you think will take the lead in this next bull run? Cause another possible GPU shortage. What do you guys think? Overboard Tech, I kind of want to hear your opinion. What algo do you think is going to take over? Real quick, also, if anybody, Mr. 56, my man, actually sent me this last night. So this is Newegg, by the way. They have a brand new refreshed guarantee. Newegg refreshed, I guess. So this is probably going to botch the markets for trying to buy shit. But as you can see, they got GPUs all refreshed here, apparently. Yeah, I don't think you guys are going to get really cheap GPUs, but they don't look too expensive, at least in my opinion. I don't really know what things are going for on eBay, though, so you guys let me know what you think about that. Anyways, I just wanted to bring that up and let you guys know. All right, let's get into CNBC's crypto world, and then we're going to get into the most important video with Mr. Anthony Scaramucci. Guys, hit that like button. Appreciate you all. Hate asking, but YouTube makes me. Let's do it.
Today, Bitcoin falls below $40,000.
Sorry, that was loud. Just blew my eardrums.
Again. The SEC delays its decision on BlackRock's spot Ethereum ETF, and CleanSpark CEO Zachary Bradford explains how the Bitcoin miner is preparing for the upcoming halving.
Man, she like blew my eardrums, man. That was awful.
Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Talia Kaplan. Crypto prices are back in the red today. As of noon Eastern, Bitcoin slid below the $40,000 level, trading around $39,680. Ether and Solana both dropped more than 2%, with Ether falling below the $2,200 mark.
Real quick, Leo Lustig just said Micro Center has started a GPU trade-in program. The caveat is you have to have bought the GPU from them originally. Interesting.
Okay, let's talk about the top stories. The SEC is pushing
They would do that, though.
back its decision on BlackRock's proposed spot Ethereum ETF. The reason for the delay? Well, in this filing from yesterday, the agency said it needs more time to review the proposed rule change. Now, this marks the first of several delays the SEC can employ.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? They already pushed back the ETF for Ethereum.
Before the regulator must announce a final decision for this ETF, that has to happen within a 240-day period from when the SEC opens comments on the applications.
240 days. That's going to put us, what, like November-ish? October, maybe? November? Somebody do the math for me. But that's pretty much where I think we're going to start seeing the bull run start kicking into effect, which would be a pretty big catalyst if the Ethereum ETF also launched around then.
Late last year, BlackRock filed an application with the SEC to convert its Ethereum trust into an ETF. Now, a final decision on all pending spot Ether ETFs, including BlackRock's, could come in May, as that's the earliest final deadline out of all the applicants. That would be similar to the SEC's decision on all the spot Bitcoin ETF applications, which were approved all at once on January 10th. Now, BlackRock, Invesco, ARK, and VanEck are among the firms in line for approval for a spot Ether ETF, as well as Grayscale, which is seeking to convert its existing Ethereum trust into an ETF. Next, Bitwise says that it's the first U.S. Bitcoin ETF provider to publish the addresses of its Bitcoin holdings. The asset manager posted its wallet address on X, saying anyone can verify its holdings and flows for its BITB fund right on the blockchain. We looked up the address, and according to CoinTracker, the wallet currently holds about $488 million in Bitcoin.
Jeez, they made that public? That's crazy.
Bitwise said the move was the first step toward increasing public transparency and hopes to do more in the future. Finally, North Carolina Congressman Patrick McHenry joined CNBC's Squawk Box this morning and discussed Capitol Hill's progress on regulating digital assets. McHenry is a big proponent of crypto and has a few bills before the House to create new guidelines for the industry.
I want him to get a Bitcoin bow tie so bad. Imagine if he had Bitcoins on this. That'd be so great. I wonder if we could get his mailing address. I'll send him a gift. I'll get it made for him.
Those have been on hold, though, as Congress has wrestled with budget talks and internal fighting.
Look, when the House basically attempted to commit political suicide...
Was that XRP on that one?
Republicans in the House tried to commit political suicide in the fall.
It
gummed up 3 or 4 months of House floor action. So I've got major policies in capital formation, data privacy, and crypto that we haven't moved across the House floor, and I intend to get those moved across the House floor this year. We can still do big deals. Even amidst the longest presidential campaign, general election campaign in American history, we can still get these things done and build consensus, and I think there's a need for market structure on crypto.
Now, if these bills don't make it through Congress this year, they'll be set aside. On top of that, McHenry is retiring at the end of this term, so he won't be in Congress to reintroduce the bills next year. All right, let's talk about Bitcoin mining for our main story. Crypto World's Tanea McKeel got the chance to sit down with Zachary Bradford, the CEO of CleanSpark, and he breaks down how the miner is preparing for the upcoming halving.
CleanSpark wrapped up 2023 in a pretty good position. The company mined nearly 7,400 Bitcoin and saw its yearly revenue grow $37 million from a year prior, reaching $168 million. Now the Bitcoin miner is turning its sights to 2024 and faces some major milestones for the network, including the halving and a wave of new adoption from Wall Street. CleanSpark kicked off the year by announcing plans to launch an in-house trading desk with the hope that it can make use of its Bitcoin holdings. I asked CEO Zachary Bradford about the timing of that decision.
The now came because our Bitcoin balance has gotten large enough. So we have just over 3,000 Bitcoin as of now on our balance sheet, and we're believers on it on a long-term basis increasing in value. But unlike a money market or something like that, where when you put your money in the bank, you get a little bit of interest, we're really basing 100% of its value increase on a very long-term thesis. So now that we have a larger balance, we believe we want to bring it in-house, and that trading desk would only serve our Bitcoin. We wouldn't have outside clients, we wouldn't create products or anything, but we would have traders that work for our company, and they would then trade that Bitcoin to generate a little bit of yield based on the volatility of Bitcoin.
Of course, I also had to ask him about the
trying to capitalize on trading it.
Recent launch of spot Bitcoin ETFs and the
move,
recent selling pressure on Bitcoin.
Go both ways.
I think what at least we believe we're seeing is, these ETFs, they're from traditional finance.
I mean, I think, you know what, that's kind of interesting. I think that Bitcoin mining facilities are going to be more along those routes of having to get people to, kind of play with the crypto, right? Like trade it back and forth to capitalize on the gains, like he was saying, versus just mining it and holding it. Because I think those days, once this halving happens, I mean, when it goes down to 3.125 or whatever it's going down to, it's a different game now. There's not enough to go around unless the price appreciates a lot. Do you know what I mean?
And they were smart about how they moved into Bitcoin. They didn't want to push the price up overnight. They wanted to have a nice smooth entry point, and because frankly that would allow them to have larger returns that they would be able to show their shareholders over time. So we see this as something that's going to provide a tailwind for the price action of Bitcoin, which then benefits the miners because it affects supply and demand. So all the buying that they have should be patient and long-term buying that will kind of soak up that supply in the market and to a certain degree, permanently put it on a shelf.
Now looking ahead, all miners are gearing up for the halving when mining rewards will be cut in half overnight. I asked Bradford how his business is preparing for that event and how it intends to weather the volatility that's expected post-halving.
Oh my God. Look at those, look at those power supplies. That looks like, that is gearing up for a fire. Look at this one. It's got like water damage.
If you measure revenue in Bitcoin, our revenue would be cut in half in a single day. When measured in dollars, though, which is what all us report to, as public companies, especially in the SEC, that's what goes out to the public. We believe that, again, Bitcoin's value will go up. So revenues may take a near term, that day the impact occurs, and we think it'll recover quickly over time. But more importantly, if you think about the Bitcoin rewards as, the pie got smaller, and all the miners that exist, it's about the size of that pie. We think that there will be miners that are less efficient and can't handle that revenue shock. So we think as many as 30% or 15 to 30% of miners will actually have to turn off, shut down.
So with
at least until the price appreciation happens, right?
Miners expected to fare worse than others after the halving. I asked Bradford if he expects failures among Bitcoin miners and if CleanSpark could acquire any of them.
It was like all S9s.
I think that we will see failures in the space. We already saw in the last market, there were a couple bankruptcies, both in the public and the private space. I think we're going to see that again. So I think that there's going to be great opportunity on an M&A basis. We're thinking about the facilities or the data centers that miners are operating in. If there's a data center full of old equipment that is no longer efficient, we'd love to buy the facility and move in. And I think that there's going to be a lot of similarly mined operators as Bitcoin miners. So I think that's where we're going to see a lot of consolidation and acquisitions will be really around the real estate holdings, maybe less around the actual companies. And the companies, as a result, may fall by the wayside, some of them. I'm also a big believer that in the next 4 years, there's only going to be 3 to 4 winners in the space because, from a capital markets point of view, let's think of tech. Do people invest in Apple or the new startup? Well, they invest in the new startup when they believe it has a lot of upside. When they want the sure thing, they invest in Apple. And I think what we're going to see is as some of the miners get bigger and bigger, that flight to quality is going to be more important. And as a result, it's going to become an outsize. There's going to be 3 or 4 winners, just like, there are 3 or 4 cell phone providers that people actually buy their cell phones from.
CleanSpark itself still faces stiff competition from other publicly traded miners like Riot and Marathon, both of which saw huge gains in 2023 and hope to keep the momentum going in 2024.
We've spent years, preparing, and we're already going to start thinking about 28 as soon as the next halving event occurs. But it's about timing the market. I'm a big believer in timing. And that's not always, there's multiple approaches. You can take a dollar cost average approach to your investment thesis, or you can take a thesis of timing the market. So we've actually chose to invest in the last bull market, and we're going to try and time before the next bull market takes off. So for us, that's going to be when do you get in and when is it too late? That's going to be the hard part, we think, is really trying to time the market to get the best value.
Okay, before we go, let's get to one last thing. Eco, the company behind crypto wallet Beam, announced today that it acquired an app that lets people pay for online purchases using stablecoins. That deal means Beam wallet users can soon spend stablecoins at places like Amazon and more. We'll be talking with the CEO.
What? That's cool.
Tomorrow about that announcement and why he thinks spot Bitcoin ETFs step away from the ideals of crypto. Be sure to catch us then.
That's really neat, actually. Be able to use stable coins to purchase it on Amazon. That's crazy. All right, this is one of the most important parts. This is what I wanted you guys to hear. This Savvy Finance channel is actually pretty good. They get some cool he gets some good podcasts, and he kind of talks in the middle of it a little bit. But regardless, Anthony Scaramucci is he's a big proponent for Bitcoin as a whole, right? And he's a very educated guy. He's talked to Larry Fink, and he kind of explains BlackRock's overall outlook on this and how Larry Fink was actually orange pilled. I was listening to this yesterday while I was framing my basement up, and yeah, it's very neat. So guys, hit that like button. Appreciate y'all for hanging out. Let's get into it.
You mentioned my $170,000 prediction, so I just want to go into that with you for 30 seconds. That's a data dependent prediction. Go back and look at Bitcoin halving cycles. The day that the Bitcoin halves, multiply it by 4, 18 months later, and it's been uncanny that that's been the price of Bitcoin. So I'm using a $35,000 number at the halving. If
it goes down to 35, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think it's going to go down to 35 before the halving or around the halving? Typically, it usually goes into it, sells off, and then, you know, it takes a couple months or 200 days or so for it to actually pump back up. So let me know what you guys think about that.
And that's conservative. You're correct. That is conservative. Let's say we're at 50,000 in April. Okay, then it's a $200,000 handle. Let's say we're at 60,000, it'll be 240. But my long-term price target is that Bitcoin gets to easily half the market capitalization of gold.
Skybridge Capital founder and former White House Director of Communications Anthony Scaramucci,
I didn't know he was a former White House Director of Communications. Did you guys?
Is exceedingly bullish on Bitcoin,
until I watched
the world's largest cryptocurrency by market cap. While attending the just-concluded annual meeting of the World Economic Forum last week, Anthony gave what he describes as a data-driven prediction for the leading crypto asset. The Skybridge Capital founder said he believes Bitcoin's price could hit $170,000 next year, even if it maintains current levels going into the halving event in April. While Anthony's prediction may be considered conservative in certain quarters, he has explained that this is his base case for Bitcoin in 2025. Plus, it's a data-driven prediction derived from previous cycles. During an interview with Reuters in Davos, Switzerland, Anthony said, "Wherever the price is on the day of the halving in April, multiply it by 4, and it will reach that price in the next 18 months. If Bitcoin's at $40,000 at the halving, where it roughly is right now, it'll be $170,000 by mid to late 2025.
How true is that, actually? Has that happened before? Multiply it by 4? I mean, I guess it has, right? Overall. I mean, 3, really, right? Because it was all-time high was... Well, actually, no, that's different. He's talking about from the halving, not from really the old all-time high to the new one. So,
During the interview, Anthony also underscored the importance of the historic approval of 11-spot Bitcoin ETFs by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. The Skybridge Capital founder explained that the ongoing weakness in Bitcoin's price is caused by investors rotating out of the grayscale Bitcoin trust into the new ETFs. But everything should settle once the GBTC outflows slow and the new ETFs really get going. Earlier this
week, this guy's videos are they're really good to, like, if you have something to do and you just get your headphones in, just put it on and walk away, just let it play and listen to it, because yeah, he gets a lot of good clips from podcasts, and there's a few other channels like this too.
Anthony had an insightful discussion with Scott Melker. During the interview, he discusses his predictions for Bitcoin, institutional investment in the ETFs, and why he believes Bitcoin could go 10x from here. We will now bring you clips from the interview. As we do, please take a little time to like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications for more videos, and don't forget to drop your comments.
If you guys have never heard of this guy, the link is in the description below.
Everything you do helps with the YouTube algorithm and immensely contributes to the channel's growth. Thanks, and enjoy the video.
Let's say we're at 50,000 in April. Okay, then it's a $200,000 handle. Let's say we're at 60,000, it'll be 240. But my long-term price target is that Bitcoin gets to easily half the market capitalization of gold. Gold now at about 14.5 trillion. If Bitcoin goes to 7 or 8 trillion, that's a 10x from here. It's a $400,000 Bitcoin. And I think it would be ridiculous for people not to understand the asset, not to understand the dynamics of it as a store of value, and not to have a position. One last point, if you don't mind me saying this, we were the first money into BlackRock. I think I broke it on your.
You did.
I broke it on Wall Street's.
I want that. I want that little this little stand of the Bitcoin in it. Actually, I had a Bitcoin somewhere. I found it yesterday.
You did.
I broke it on Wall Street's. We gave BlackRock the first money last January. They converted successfully into the ETF. They have not even started the marketing process. And as you know, these 11 ETFs, this was the best ETF launch in ETF history. So we have some sludge going on with the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. The real experts know that. But when that sludge clears out, you have clear skies ahead for Bitcoin, and you have a lot of demand for Bitcoin. You have institutional demand finally for Bitcoin because it's now an asset that's wrapped in something that the hoi polloi can understand and that the institutions can now be comfortable buying. So all of those things hopefully make me wrong about my prediction to the low side. But let's just say this. People need to get in there. They need to understand this asset. They need to work harder to do the research on an asset like this. My thing about this, because I was an FA and I have distributed product into these wirehouses, they're cautious, they're slow moving, but when they get there, it's going to be overwhelming. Okay. And remember, this is a fixed supply asset. So, you know, I mean, Jamie Dimon said something, and I watch his interviews very carefully because I think he's very smart. But he said, you know, Satoshi's going to press a button, and it's going to create another 21 million Bitcoin. And
he actually said all Bitcoin is going to disappear, but I mean, nonetheless, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Okay, but that actually mathematically, and from a programming analysis and from a decentralized point of view, it actually cannot happen. But to say that, it either implies you're joking, or it either implies you don't have the expertise or the awareness, you know. And so I don't know, maybe he's got the regulators on him and he doesn't want the regulators on him too hard. Like
that's exactly why he says what he says, because, you know, JP Morgan is buying a shit ton of Bitcoin in the background, just like they did during that whole big crypto conspiracy. If you guys have ever looked that up, I actually had it in the link in the description 2 days ago, or a couple days ago, for a couple days at that. And yeah, go check it out if you guys haven't seen the Great Crypto Conspiracy. It's kind of crazy, but he is scared of these people because they're one of the most fined banks ever, if I'm not mistaken, JP Morgan.
Elizabeth Warren's. But I got to tell you, it's not an informed view, and it's shocking because if you said to me, who is the smartest person in financial services, he's got to be in the top 5. I mean, you know, he's
not wrong. Jamie Dimon he's not a dumb dude, but deceiving he might be. You know what I mean? He's definitely trying to deceive people on Bitcoin.
Done an unbelievable job of that bank.
Yeah, more or less like the inverse Kramer. Exactly. That's pretty much what he is.
Unbelievable job navigating the global financial crisis. Unbelievable job of being there at the right time with the right core assets, meaning the bank never really shook or got knocked into insolvency. But I mean, this thing, I think he's just really missing. And then when you talk to the guys there, they're like, yeah, well, we're spending hundreds of millions of dollars developing.
Jamie Dimon's actions and remarks concerning Bitcoin and crypto are absurdly hypocritical.
I think he talks about it here, the fines.
Critical. The JP Morgan CEO loves to talk about how crypto's only true use case is to facilitate crime, especially whenever he appears before the U.S. Senate. Yet, JP Morgan is the second largest penalized bank and has paid $39.3 billion in fines for 272 violations since 2000. Since Dimon became CEO in 2005, the banking giant has paid about $38 billion in fines, 1/10 of the $380 billion fines paid by banks worldwide for
That is crazy. $38 billion, a tenth of all fines paid by banks worldwide for violations.
JP Morgan has been allegedly involved in and agreed to pay fines for several heinous crimes. Dimon continues to lay at the doorstep of the crypto industry. The bank was at the center of the largest cocaine bust in U.S. history, involving 20 tons of cocaine worth $1.3 billion, seized on a ship reportedly owned by a fund run by JP Morgan.
20 tons? What?
It also agreed to pay a $75 million settlement over allegations that it enabled and financially benefited from Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking operations.
Oh, shit.
In addition, despite Dimon's remarks, JP Morgan is involved in and profiting from cryptocurrency.
That's why he sits like he does, if you didn't just see. Hands down, just sits there and talks shit. Everything that the big guys want to hear, so the eyes are off him, basically.
Involved in and profiting from cryptocurrencies and digital assets. Despite being a former Bitcoin and crypto critic like Dimon, BlackRock CEO Larry Fink is quickly becoming a huge crypto industry advocate. Let's get back to Anthony's interview as he talks about Larry Fink's incursion into crypto and why his intentions can be trusted.
And you know what? This is one of the most important parts here, and something that I didn't know about Larry Fink. I thought he was just in it for the money, but listen to what Anthony says here. It's quite interesting.
I met with Larry Fink in November of 2020. I was in the, 2021, because it was closer, 2021. I was in the lobby of the Four Seasons Hotel in Abu Dhabi, okay, on the El Mariana Island where the global markets facility is for Abu Dhabi. We were standing there together. He says, "You really like this Bitcoin?" I said, "I do." And then he looked at me and said, "Bitcoin sucks." I said, "It does?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "It's a stupid asset. It totally sucks." He goes, "But I just made an investment in Circle. I think the blockchain is good. And I think that the stable coins on the blockchain will be successful."
Pay attention.
So BlackRock just made an investment in Jeremy Allaire's company. I said to Larry, "Okay." I said, "I think you're wrong. I just think you need to do more homework." Now, there's a guy named Robbie Mitchnick at BlackRock. He's a young kid. He came into BlackRock with the idea of creating a Bitcoin ETF.
Which is crazy.
He orange pilled Larry. And I'm going to give Larry a lot of credit because Larry actually did the homework. Larry did the reversal. Larry was on the road to Damascus and converted as a result of being steeped in understanding exactly what it was and why it will be an international store of value. And I got to tell you something, it takes a very smart leader to pridefully say that Bitcoin sucks, and then 24 months later say, "You know what? I've got this wrong. BlackRock needs to be a part of this, and BlackRock needs to have a significant stake in it." So
how crazy is that? Because I mean, to be honest, I'm pretty sure everybody was like, you know, just looking at BlackRock, like they just want to make money. But at the same time, like listening to that, it's like, shit, maybe Larry does actually understand blockchain and what it could mean for like everything.
So no, I don't think he's just talking his book. He's not that type of person. And he has said two things that you should pay attention to if you're an investor here. Number one, it's a store of value. And number two, it represents a flight to quality, Scott.
Which is probably the biggest one, flight to quality.
I want you to think about that. Okay, this asset has experienced 100 vols. Okay, it's gone from 80 to 100 vols. We've seen the asset go from 69 to 16. We've seen it do all different types of haywire things. But the largest asset manager in the world, the CEO of that company says it is a flight to quality. Okay, so that implies that he understands it. Last point of the story, it's now 23. It's January. Robbie comes to see us. My partner, Brett Messing, who I don't think you've met, he says to my partner, "Look, I'm getting a lot of bureaucratic resistance at BlackRock. I need some outside money in this Bitcoin trust." So we sent them $10 million. We said, "Okay, we're in." So we were the first money in. He then went to the ETF committee and said, "We can raise outside money for this." And they said, "Okay, if you can raise outside money for this, let's give it a go." And they were watching that Grayscale case carefully. Their lawyers told them that Grayscale was going to win that case. And then they dropped the application.
And the first thing Larry Fink said after the Bitcoin spot ETF was approved was, "We need an Ethereum spot ETF."
How crazy is that?
Do you think that it's coming soon?
Okay, now here's how you know he's been completely pilled, okay? We need an Ethereum spot ETF. And oh, by the way, we're going to tokenize all these assets.
See, that's the scary part, though. The tokenizing everything. Because when he said to the CNBC host, we watched it like a week ago or so, when he was like, you know, we can tokenize you, for example. It was like anything you do basically is going to be, it'll be on the blockchain forever, right? So it'll be traceable forever, which is, that's the scary part of it, because it's going to be centralized at that point. But at the end of the day, it is a great technology, and it makes sense for them to get into it.
The future of exchanges is going to be tokenization. Okay, so he actually has taken it a step further. It's not just, okay, I got a Bitcoin ETF. And remember, you know, they're charging 21 basis points. Okay, is that going to really move the needle at BlackRock? No. So he's doing this because of the intellectual gravitas associated with it. And he's doing it because he wants to be at the forefront of it. And he's also recognizing that, you know, he's playing the back nine of his career. And he knows that part of his legacy will be, was I a visionary leader, or did I get stuck in 1987?
According to Anthony,
and that's so true. Like, it's about his legacy at this point. In like, do I want to be left behind, or do I want to leave this company off at a great place when I leave? It's crazy.
Scaramucci and other prominent investors in the space, the marketing for these ETFs is not in full swing yet. This is very bullish because it means we can look forward to spectacular price movements after the GBTC sell-off tapers to a halt. According to senior Bloomberg ETF analyst Eric Balchunas, that might be much sooner than we think. In his latest update about the GBTC gouge, Eric notes that the outflows seem to be coming to an end. His post reads, GBTC outflows today were only $425 million, the lowest bleed since day one and seemingly trending down. That said, it's still a pretty large number. This number confirms the futility of looking at wallets all day as some kind of predictor of flows. If anything, volume has become the best predictor. Low volume equals less bad outflows. Do you think the GBTC sell-off is almost over and Bitcoin is about to take off again? Please drop your replies and comments on
Pretty awesome, guys. Shout out to this guy. Again, I left the link to his channel in the description below. If you guys are interested, go check him out. Mr. Ridputs, good morning. Good morning. All right, let's get into this. Guys, hit that like button, please. Let's get to 100 likes. That'd be amazing. All right, 10 crypto coins better than Ethereum, like buying ETH at 80 bucks. I want to see what Mr. Altcoin Daily has to say over here, and then we're going to recap things and get out of here. Appreciate you all for watching. Let's do it.
Ethereum went from $80 to over $4,000 in the last bull run.
And it did, and that's when I started mining. It was like, it was around there.
And I still like ETH. I'm still a big ETH bull, but I just want to find the next one. Here are 10 altcoins with better tech, better teams, or just better hype in 2024. And keep in mind, I cannot see the future. I'm not a financial advisor, and past performance does not guarantee future results. So never invest more in crypto than you are willing to lose.
That is the biggest point. Please don't invest more than you can afford to lose. If you can only afford $100, only put it in $100. Split it up between 10 different coins if you want to and take a risk. But yeah, just be careful.
Coin number 1, Polygon. The ecosystem is exploding. Here's a list of
Polygon.
the major
Anybody into Polygon? Let me know in the chat.
brands, big brands that are choosing to build on Polygon these last few years. And if we're looking at trends, not only is Polygon a blue chip layer 2, but also a leader in the tech of zero knowledge.
The core of kind of everything that we build is based on zero knowledge technology. We acquired 2 separate companies in 2021. Both of them, one of them focused purely on ZK research, and they're the ones who have written the open source software Plunky 2, Plunky 3 that are used by almost everyone in the ecosystem that is working on ZK technology. And then we acquired a second company that is more like a production-focused ZK team. So when you build using like any Polygon technology, what you get is not only the technology that actually exists, but a team that continues to build on it. That is
the hell's this guy doing with the camera?
Leading team.
Now, as we continue,
he was like shaking it up and down. So Polygon, aren't they? Didn't they go ahead of the SEC and ask how to comply with them? If I'm not mistaken, I think I heard that or saw that somewhere. That's a big deal. If they can front run the SEC with the bullshit, that could be very good for the project.
On this list today, the coins will get progressively newer, more lower cap cryptocurrencies, so watch the whole video. Coin number 2 on today's list, SUI. SUI is a layer 1 blockchain designed to make digital asset ownership fast, private, secure, and accessible.
Real quick, who's into SUI? I guess that's how you say that. Real quick, I want to see who is into Polygon. Blaine Anderson said you're big into Polygon. Interesting. Curtis said got some Polygon. Nice. I got to. I haven't invested into any Polygon. Actually, you know what? No, I did have some Matic at some point. I did, but I sold it. I got to get back into it though.
To everyone, just
Mr. Crypto KJ, appreciate you, buddy, for being a member for 8 months. CCXT Financial Advice Club is the best club for investing and trading. You're a liar. Don't tell people that, you weirdo. Highly recommended. Appreciate you being a member, though. You're awesome.
In the last week, SUI surged past 350 million total value locked. In fact, now they're number 12 among all chains. And here's 90 seconds on why they say they have better tech, better team, and why everything eventually will be built on SUI.
So, who's into SUI? Let me know in the chat. I'm interested to know. I love me some sushi, says Nismo Miner. That's not the same.
We believe every application that has a form of ownership, whether you're delivering tickets to people for a concert, whether you're dealing with a rewards program for fandom, whether you're dealing with CDBCs, central bank digital currencies, whether you're dealing with any form of digital finance or commerce, will happen on SUI. And that's where we think we succeed. We think we have the tech to do that. Our tech is unrivaled in the industry, and our tech is actually backed by world-leading papers, right, and research. So we don't just invent these things, obviously, through our pants. It's actually reviewed by the topmost universities and academics in the world, leading academics in the world. And beyond that as well, we built a very unique team. Sam Blackshear is the inventor of Move. He actually invented the Move language. Evan, one of the co-contributors to LLVM, which is what runs in every single one of your phones today. George Deniz is probably one of the most famous scientists in Greece, but very highly cited, expert in distributed systems. And Costas, who ran crypto at Facebook, and also all the crypto you're using on WhatsApp, a lot of that is being invented by a team that he led as well.
Coin number 3 out of 10, Cardano. They're one of the blue chip L1 smart contract platforms, and as a decentralized.
Cardano is going to be a big one, I think, to be honest. I don't have any, but what do you guys got? You guys got any of this? Got any ADA? Let me know in the chat.
Blockchain based on peer-reviewed research and highly secure Haskell coding language. Founder of the project, Charles Hoskinson, gives a growth update.
Cardano, there's about 170 full-time devs.
I kind of want to get into Cardano. What's it at right now, actually, price-wise? Does anybody know? Let me know.
Monthly active devs, about 490, 2,796 repos that are inside the ecosystem, and about 3 million commits. These numbers aren't fully.
So he used to be a developer on or with Ethereum, right? With Vitalik, if I'm not mistaken. He parted ways and created Cardano.
Accurate, but they're moving in the right direction, and the trend lines are also looking really good. That we stayed really productive as an ecosystem all the way through the bear market. So even though bull market's coming to an end, we're still building. There's still interest.
And with
that 48 cents, thank you. It's pretty decent, actually.
A new token called Midnight being airdropped. The token Dust being airdropped to all Cardano hodlers.
I believe everybody here is an ADA holder. ADA holders will get a token drop for Midnight, so everybody can get access to this.
That's another reason.
Every time I hear anything about an airdrop or a token drop, I feel like it's a scam. I don't know about you guys, but that's exactly how I feel every single time.
People will be hodling. Next coin on our list, as we get more lower cap, partner of the channel Energy. They describe themselves as...
All right. So he just said partner of the channel, which means they paid him to talk about this one. So I'm not sure. Take it with a grain of salt. But is anybody into this one yet?
As the safest blockchain in the world, an Ethereum-based L1 protecting you from hacks, scams, and theft.
So it's 3 layers to security.
In a recent interview I did with the founder, linked down below, he explains Energy, Defense, and their 3 layers of security.
The first layer is you need to be alerted. Okay, because sometimes if you get hacked or have your funds stolen, you don't know right away, right? Usually people find out hopefully within a day, but not always. So the best way to have it is wallet alerts. So you get an email. If you get your funds stolen, that's number 1. So any blockchain could do that.
So just getting alerted to any of these scams in crypto, just getting alerted is layer 1.
Okay, level 2 is what I built, which I don't know anyone else who's built it, which is governance on the blockchain level. So governance that allows us to do asset recovery and to freeze bad actors.
So how Energy protects users against crime? Number 1, the victim reports the crime. Number 2, the Energy Bureau of Investigations votes to temporarily freeze the attacker's address. Number 3, the EBI conducts an initial...
I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know how I feel about this coin. This coin seems a little much. I don't know. You guys want to watch this part anymore?
And if a verified crime is found, a governance vote freezes the attacker's address pending a thorough investigation.
Yeah,
all this.
All right, let's skip this one because this one's. I only need one person to tell me because that's no thanks.
And
he was obviously shilled to talk about that one, but what's it called? What was I just gonna say? Let me see. ADA. So Dan R. ADA is the toilet paper you wipe your butt with if you hodl. You are just saving that used toilet paper in the trash can next to you. All right. So Dan R. Right. Words of the wise, actually, that I heard from a man, Luke. Actually, I'm gonna give him credit for this last night. What he said to me when we were talking, he said, because he told me about a few coins that might be a good idea to get into, right? And he was like, listen, do you like making money, or do you want to make money, or do you just want to talk shit? It's not about the coin all the time. It's also about making money on it. Do you know what I mean? So be smart when you're getting into coins, yeah, but remove your emotions. That's like the biggest piece of advice I can give you.
Next up, crypto project number 5.
Even though I like to take the talk shit route sometimes, you know what I mean? Like you got to tuck your tail between your legs and just suck it up. You know what I mean? Make that money and get out.
Just on brand awareness alone is LimeWire.
I don't know if you'd call it a streaming service at the time, but it was that at the time.
You guys remember LimeWire? Apparently it's a coin now.
And now it's back, but this time AI is essentially making the music.
So for a company that used to be known for
Jay Doe said LimeWire is still a thing. Yeah, apparently they're bringing it back.
stealing from artists or just not paying artists, you could download music illegally. Now they're on the blockchain and they're using crypto and AI to make sure all artists have ownership.
Explain the new LimeWire, if you want to call it new, and the role of AI.
Yes, so we launched LimeWire. We relaunched it pretty much last year already as a creator-focused platform. Within the last 12 months or so, we've seen a lot of user-generated content, a lot of requests from our community to get the ability to also create content themselves, which is why we made a big leap into the AI space now, pretty much enabling anyone on the platform to become a content creator and to also start creating their own music.
And by the way, they're not trying to compete with the Spotifys. They're not a music distributor.
We don't really see ourselves as a distribution model for existing creators. It's much more getting users to generate their own content. So we have hundreds of thousands of users which are creating content on a daily basis. And they can now, within the AI studio, do it within a matter of a couple of minutes to get the content that they really enjoy.
With only fully licensed music to empower ownership.
We've actually put a lot of thought into this. All the training.
It's kind of interesting. I'm gonna be honest. I think I don't like whatever this. I don't know how much it's going for. I haven't even looked into it at all. But if this is a token, right, that you can purchase, I would be shocked if it didn't grow. Only because the fact that like most of us as children, or at least in the like 90s, 2000s, right, when as you were growing up, you've heard about LimeWire at some point, right? I mean, most of us have, anyways. So I don't know.
Data that we use is completely licensed. So also the music results that users get from the AI studio is licensed content. Our paid users can also use that content and use it commercially on other platforms.
Like literally, that's just like, it's not sentimental value, but like, I don't know the word you'd use, but it's like a comfortable place, right? And looking at a coin you're familiar with or a name you're familiar with will make a lot of people jump into it, right?
Platforms, which has been one of the big parts that we put a lot of focus on in the development phase.
Next coin on our list, actually one.
I want to look real quick. What's LimeWire? I want to see. Is it on CoinGecko? It is. It's up 2.13%. Let's see, 2.1. It's 46.9. So it's almost 47 cents. What's the max? How long has it been out? May 2023. Looks like it's taking a shit down to 7 cents, 6 cents, and then, man, wow, that's had quite the run up, actually. That's crazy. And you can actually hold it on your Tangem. You can just add this contract address on the Ethereum network. Nice. Oh yeah, I made a video about that. If you guys didn't see it, it's how you add coins to your Tangem wallet. If you guys are interested in Tangem, CCXD, 10% off.
One trending right now, Manta Network.
Not trying to shill, but
so Manta Network.
It's actually a wallet that I use every single day. Manta Network. Anybody into Manta?
We are a modular ecosystem for Web3 applications, and specifically Manta Pacific is our L2 deployment, or Ethereum-based L2 deployment that leverages Celestia for modular data availability. And so we've been live for about 3 months now, and we are currently in optimistic rollup, and we're in the process of transitioning over to ZK EVM, leveraging Polygon CDK.
So backed by Polychain, backed by Binance Labs, and using Polygon, Layer 0, and Celestia, there's a reason that right now they're the fastest growing L2. Next coin on our list is BitTensor. They are one of the top
BitTensor. That's how you're supposed to, I always say BitTensor. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to say it or not. BitTensor, I guess. Is anybody into this? Let me know.
Emerging protocols for AI and machine learning.
I'm an engineer on the Cortex team at OpenTensor, and we develop the protocol called BitTensor. It's a peer-to-peer decentralized protocol that enables artificial intelligence to learn from each other.
And as explained by one of their software developers, this is how they're different.
We leverage 2 types of technologies. It's called mixtures of experts and distillation.
This guy right here kind of looks like Dexter. You guys ever see that movie? That show, Dexter?
With distillation, raise your hand. Has anyone played with Midjourney V5?
Oh my God.
Yeah, pretty good, right? Pretty good. So what's really cool about distillation is that what they had to do in order to create Midjourney V5 was they had 4K Hollywood movies that they trained on with the subtitles from those movies, collected, incredible amount of data there. But with distillation, I can go get 1,000 text image pairs from Midjourney V5, take a standard, stable diffusion model, and then fine tune it on that, and boom, now I have Midjourney V5. This is one of the technologies that BitTensor heavily leverages with distillation. Through the network, through the prompting network, you can create these data sets very easily. And we also leverage mixtures of experts by, instead of having one large model, we have a bunch of different specialized models wired up kind of like a series in a battery, wired up to where the voltage is higher.
And we can see just some of the innovation on one of the many subnets, voice cloning.
This is Michael Jackson.
Dude, this is messed up.
Speaking to you, not in person.
I heard this before.
But through the marvels of modern technology. Thanks to the incredible advancements in voice cloning powered by Subnet 16 on BitTensor.
This is terrifying, by the way. There is so, like, I just think about, because, being a content creator, it's like being out there talking 24/7. AI can 100% replicate my voice or anybody's voice. So you guys always have to be careful with who you're listening to or paying attention to, or just like literally they could be videos, just podcasts, doesn't matter. Like you might not even produce them, but it's your voice. You know what I mean? It's just it's creepy. I don't know.
Actually, next coin on our list for AI data infrastructure, it's AIT protocol. And did somebody say BitTensor? They have officially
AIT protocol. Anybody into that?
Registered. And as BitTensor is a decentralized open source machine learning network, allowing AI to train on multiple inputs simultaneously, it utilizes subnets where the datasets are validated by numerous sources. The news today is that subnet registration complete. Stay tuned to learn about how this will impact the AIT protocol ecosystem and bring benefits to AIT stakers. Next coin of note is Bonsai Seed, as they've just launched their no-code solution for developers to build.
It's been performing quite well, and when we explained it, it's pretty easy to see why it's performing quite well, and that's Bonsai Seed.
Sort of the WordPress for crypto.
Yeah, so you can think of this as like the
WordPress for crypto. What's that mean? Anybody know? Anybody into this? Let me know.
WordPress for Web3. This is a no-code solution like WordPress. So I don't have any coding skills. I don't know what to do. I want to build a website. What do? I go to WordPress, I can slide a few things around, boom, I got a website.
I get it.
With this, you can now launch tokens, you can set vesting schedules, staking, all these other things in a no-code manner using Bonsai.
So a WordPress.
That's kind of neat, I guess. That's kind of neat. Simplifying. Yeah, that makes sense.
Web3 does have the potential to onboard thousands of projects and millions of users into crypto.
This is really important because in Web 2, WordPress has generated over 800 million websites. They're generating billions of dollars. The no-code industry in 2019 was $1 billion. It's now worth $13 billion.
Again, just understand that crypto in general is very risky. Never invest more than you're willing to lose.
Thanks.
And final coin aiming to be better than Ethereum is Solana. Like always.
What do you guys think, Solana? I think Solana's going to take it. I think it's going to take it. All right, let's get into the recap segment of things. We got to get out of here shortly. We've been going a little bit longer than anticipated, but I don't know. This LimeWire coin, I don't know. I don't know. I wonder if this is going to have run up. What's the market cap? It's only 51 million. It's really not that much. It's really not that much, ranking 561. And like I said, it's really just comfortability, right? With people getting into the space. Like, oh shit, I heard of LimeWire. I know what that is. I'm gonna get into this one. You know what I mean? It's kind of like Ethereum and Ethereum Classic, right? Ethereum Classic, just because hold on, what am I doing? If I could type, holy shit. Ethereum Classic right there. Just because the word Ethereum is in Ethereum Classic, this coin typically pumps in the bull runs. I mean, even though there hasn't really been much going on, at least from what I know anyways. Let's see. I think it'll go $2 to $3. Finance Man says, what, LimeWire? Yeah, I mean, possibly. Where can you even buy it, actually? Let's go back. Let's go back. LimeWire. Let's see. What is that at? Where's the markets? Right here. Where can we get it? Oh, it's available everywhere. MEXC, oh, not everywhere, but Kraken's got it. That's a big deal. Bybit, crypto.com. Wow, you can get it pretty much everywhere. All right, so it's already got the tier 1 listing, so that's kind of like that big pumps out of the, out of the question. But like Coinbase, if it comes to Coinbase, that'll be a big deal. Let's see. There will also be those like, oh, I remember LimeWire, and it killed my PC with viruses. Well, that was their fault for downloading Cron. All right. Just saying. Just saying. Anyways, oh, I gotta shut that off. There we go. Just had to make sure I didn't freeze. All right, let's see. What other coins? So again, GFAL. This is a coin that I actually kind of just let my VIPs know before we went live, but you can get this on your Tangent wallet as well with the Binance Smart Chain. This, apparently, these developers here, the founder of EA Sports is a developer of this coin. And I need to do some more research on this, but they only have a $51 million market cap as well, ranking 561. And I don't know, it might be a good idea to look into. So not financial advice, but you guys do what you want. What else? What other coins you guys got? Dynex. Dynex is actually one that's been down a bit over the last couple days, but Monday afternoon, I think, our man Yeti is actually going to be on Bloomberg television, I believe. There's a couple of different channels, but there's going to be 2 interviews. We're going to watch it either Monday morning or Tuesday, obviously, when we recap the news, as we do every single morning. So I would not be shocked if we saw people get into Dynex over the next couple of days. Again, not financial advice. It's just my opinion. It is down quite some from 3 months ago. And with news on the news, that's usually, I don't know. Take it as you will. Take it as you will. All right, Flux. See what Flux is doing. Then we're going to get out of here. We're going to raid Miss Randy Hipper at some point. We got 58 cents over here on Flux. Flux is down a little bit. It's doing good things, though. Proof of Useful Work is about to launch, as far as I know, or it's in like beta testing some stuff. I'm not really into the whole Proof of Useful Work stuff, but you guys, as you will. You know, the $3.33 was the all-time high, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it was. $3.33, and it's only at 58 cents. So there we go. All right, I hit arms the other day and hitting again today. Nice Miss Randy Hipper. She's actually gonna be talking about the ETF delay. If you guys don't know, again, BlackRock, their ETF did get delayed by the SEC. Again, if you guys did not see this video right here from Savvy Finance with Mr. Anthony Scaramucci, who's on the Wolf of All Streets, if you guys did not see that, go check it out. But it is Friday. We do have to get out of here. Daddy Judy calls. My kids are raiding my channel, as you can see. So I'm going to leave you guys off with this. Hopefully you guys have a great, happy, and safe Friday. I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And until then, peace out.
I wanna hold until I can't no more.
Eat shit, Gary. You are a loser. You always lose.
Happy Friday, everybody. We're going to raid Randy Hipper right now. Stay put. I'll send you over there. Have a good day. Peace out. Enjoy your Friday.